Hello, welcome to episode 281 of the Casual Tryhard podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm James.
and this week we are continuing our trek through Modern Horizons 3 uh spoilers, not spoilers, but like
Our set
card set
review.
review.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
Um,
talking about the interesting cards, the
mhm,
powerful cards, the cards that we like.
Absolutely. We still got quite a few cards to go through. Maybe we get through them all this week. Maybe we don't. We'll have to see. Um, but yeah, cards that we thought were interesting. Really didn't. I was kind of surprised we didn't get a ton of like feedback this time around. Normally, when we do one of these, we get a couple people chiming in with some cards they want to hear about, but it was crickets. So we got to make our own list this time.
Set fatigue. You can only you get tired of if you're always in perpetual hype.
That's true. I am tired of perpetual hype. Facts.
Facts. So, if you have any cards you want us to talk about, any show ideas, anything like that, please get at us on social media at Casual Tryhard, on Facebook, on Twitter, you can get us on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You can email us. All those links are in the description. Check it out.
Yeah,
Say hey.
make sure you hit us up. If you're looking to support the show, there's a couple ways you can do it. The first doesn't cost you guys anything extra, and you're going to be buying cards from this set anyway. So we would appreciate it if you used our TCG player affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Surf on over there and buy your singles. Hopefully not right now, but when the prices go down. We were just talking about the prices for pre-ordering singles for this set, and they seem kind of insane.
Yes.
But, maybe next week or something when prices come back down to reality. CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Go on over to TCG Player. Let them fight for your business, make prices cheap, and you can support us at the same time. So we would appreciate that. If you're looking to support us a little bit more directly, Patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG is how you can do that. Chip a couple bucks in, you get access to our show notes, so you get a sneak peek about what the upcoming episode's going to be about. And you also get about another hour-ish of content out of us in the form of our pre-show. We start the call a little early every week to make sure our equipment's working. Catch up, because we don't really get to see each other that often anymore, and going to be seeing each other a lot less coming up here.
Yeah.
But we record that and pipe it right into our patrons' ears. So
Yeah.
if any of that sounds good, or if you just want to support the show, like I said, Patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. We would appreciate it.
So,
well,
we are
real quick before we get into the cards. I know you said you didn't really get a chance to play any of this set because Arena's garbage on the iPad.
Yes.
And I know neither of us went to pre-release. I don't know if any of you guys at home went to pre-release or not. But today is Tuesday. We record on Tuesdays, and it just dropped on Arena. So I did a couple drafts today, and it's a blast. Like, if you guys get a chance to draft this set, I highly recommend it. There's, like, these type of sets have a little bit more complexity, and I mean, that's saying something with as complex as Magic is nowadays. But because they're a little bit more complex, like when we did our mechanics episode, there was like 40 mechanics. So there's a lot of like chances for overlapping synergies. You like to call them pocket synergies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's two cards that, at face value may not read like they work together, but you can build an engine or build a different archetype or something. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this set that you can do. And it's a lot of fun, at least in a couple of drafts that I've done so far. So I highly recommend if you get a chance to try some limited out.
Yeah. I will probably set aside some time to use the old computer version of Arena and see if that I can get through some stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be my Father's Day. Leave me alone.
There you go. Lock yourself in your room.
I have no son today. But yeah, like, it is a set that I am looking forward to playing. A friend of ours, the oft mentioned Anthony, asked me got a new computer and like downloaded Arena and was like, what formats do you play? So I told him, I say, I might play some Timeless now because like I want to play, like I want to try to play Primal Prayers combo.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, okay, I'll look at some Timeless decks. I'm like, on second thought, don't do that because of how they put the cards on the client. They're all
Right.
mythic.
Yep.
Like here's a blue red and soul artifact deck for Explorer that like is all commons and uncommons basically.
Mm-hmm.
But like I want to like play some constructed. I want to try to play Primal Prayers with one of the cards we're going to talk about here, Frog Mirror Enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
There's now a Mirror Enforcer for getting to play like Affinity and Simulacrum Synthesizer. There you go. That was a word.
Yep.
So like, I was like, I'm interested in trying to play those things.
Yep.
So like, I will be. So I was like, I should draft first and get some of these cards I want to play,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually like play the play some constructed. Do you know how long it's on Arena for? Is it on until the next set comes out?
I would assume so, but I have no idea. They're doing a weird thing with the mastery for it. Did you see that?
No. Okay, did Mastery has the new Mastery kicked in?
Well, this set doesn't get a mastery.
Okay.
So you still have the Outlaws mastery. But this set, you like earn tickets for like a prize wall for stuff for this set.
Okay, yeah, I heard about this, that they had mentioned that they were going to do that.
It's kind of weird. It seems like anything that's worth getting is like a bazillion tickets and you get like a ticket or two per match.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long it would ever take you to get anything.
Okay,
but...
so here you go. Till July 30th. So it will be up till July 30th.
Oh, so just like 6 weeks or something?
Yeah. So sealed will be June 11th through June 4th, or July 4th, sorry. And then everything else, all the drafts are June 11th to July 30th. Well, the quick drafts go away July 2nd.
Okay.
They start on the 21st and go to the 2nd. So your normal draft formats are going to be till July 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's fine. Like that's 6 weeks. Like that's something. Are they the same price? I guess like how much? Okay, yep. So that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, like this is where I will like play this format because like how like a draft at your store is like what $40-$50.
Yeah, I have no idea anymore. I don't know what the prices of anything are.
And I know that our one of our LGSs said they only had 8 spots for pre-release.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's like this fine line, right? We attended many a pre-release, like pre-COVID, that our store had 100 pre-release kits and sold like 40.
Right.
And years before that, we went to pre-releases that they had 200 pre-release kits and they had people out the door and had to cancel pre-releases.
Yep.
And it's like, now we're on the like, I'll get like 8 and hope that we sell those.
Yeah.
Which is just wild.
Well, I remember, I mean, there had to be more than 200 pre-release kits. Because
there had to be.
I mean, there was pre-releases where we had over 100 players at the Friday midnight one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like lots and lots and lots.
Yeah.
And now it's like as things went on, it was just like, oh, there's pre-release kits in the case for 3 months.
Yeah.
Till the next set came out. And it's like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah. Not sustainable for sure.
Not sustainable. But yeah, so you have until the 30th. To July 30th to do traditional and premier draft, and I mean that's probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get like sick of it,
right?
But you watch, it'll be a good format. It'll be like we're not gonna get sick of this.
I mean, it seems fun so
Bring
far.
It back.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it what its staying power is like, but My decks have been kind of nuts anyway. I don't know if that's why I'm having fun or not, but
that helps. That
Yeah.
helps. Pack one, just pick two like unbeatable Simic rares.
Yeah.
The same one. I was like, oh, my deck's so consistent.
Yeah. Well, pick one. In my most recent draft was Sorin, and pick one, pick two was Necro Dominance. So
I feel like you just like, I know it's black.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. That card just seems busted.
Oh no, you snap it. Oh, and then there's another black card that's like kind of insane with Necro Dominance. It's 2 and a black for an enchantment, and when it ETBs, you amass 3. And then if you draw 3 cards, you amass 3.
So you just get to keep making it bigger and bigger. Like, on your end step, just hit the button 3 times. Give token +3/+3. Oh, you killed token, get new thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems good. Seems good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, so we should talk about these cards. So we made it to red last time.
We did.
So the first red card is Amped Raptor. It is 1 on the red for a dinosaur that's a 2/1 with first strike.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a paragraph. When Amped Raptor enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Then, if you cast it from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying an energy equal to its mana value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't have enough energy, that card just goes in exile.
Mm-hmm.
And all the cards you exiled before it also go away. Right?
Oh, really?
Because it's like,
oh yeah, they're just gone. Wow, that's weird. Exiled.
Yeah, because there's no like put them on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yeah. They're just gone. I'm assuming, looking at this card, there was not space for the phrase "put them on the bottom of your library in a random order."
Yeah.
On this card, setting the font size to 2.
Yeah.
This card is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
It is Bloodbraid Elf at home. You can also build, so like if you think about like they used to be like Lorish Jund decks, but like Zoomer Jund.
Yeah.
That like there might be 2-3 drops in the deck. This card is just like always cast you a spell for free.
Yeah.
A 2/1 first strike is non-embarrassing.
Right.
It's not great, but like they like, you know, they ping it with their red and 6. You hopefully got a card out of it, so you're still up in that exchange.
I mean, not that it's super playable anymore, but I mean, there was a point in time where Elvish Visionary wasn't an embarrassing card.
Yeah, I mean,
and this has like another point of power and first strike, and like finds you gas and then casts it.
Yeah, gives you the mana, draws you the card, and then gives you the mana.
Yeah.
It also combos well with a card we're going to talk about in a second, Galvanic Discharge, where you like something.
Yep.
And like, let's say you have 4 energy, and then you can just literally cast anything in your deck.
Yeah.
There was we had the benefit this week of having watched some gameplay. So Saffron Olive was playing like some budget energy list that had Ether Revolt in it. Which like that card actually ended up looking good in it. But on more than one occasion, he like cast Amped Raptor on turn 2 after Galvanic Discharging something.
Yeah.
And cast an Aether Revolt. Cast his 4-drop on turn 2. So like it was get a 2/1 first strike plus draw a card, get 4 mana.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could also like hit the 1 ring off of it in that like kind of exchange.
For sure.
Right? Like that's just crazy. Here's my turn 2, the 1 ring.
Yeah.
The game now ends.
Is there any kind of shenanigans we can get up to with this guy? Because it'll hit another Amped Raptor.
But cast from your hand.
Oh, I gotcha. So you can't hit another one and then keep going.
Yeah, like you can't just play like 4 Amped Raptors and then like whatever nonsense cards you want to like
Yeah.
cast.
Gotcha.
And like since you don't get to like be like I can't cast this, put it like back on the bottom, like you couldn't like Raptor into Raptor into Raptor into Raptor or something, and then hit your thing. Give them
Well,
all
I
like
mean,
haste for free.
like what got me going down that, I wasn't even thinking that, but the fact that they stay in exile, can you like, is there something we can do where we just get to no cards in our deck?
Ooh. Lilia.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
holy moly. Yeah.
so like you could Lilia into Amped Raptor,
Yeah.
and like you're gonna exile a bunch of cards, presumably for Lilia.
Yeah.
So like you could grow your Lilia that way. Like the awkward thing is like you could still hit your Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah.
Right, so you like go through your deck and then you hit your Thassa's Oracle and you have too many cards in your library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know how you could like do like because you could like just play 4 Amped Raptors.
Yeah.
And like nothing else, or the classic 1 Amped Raptor mulligan to it.
The old treasure hunt.
The old treasure hunt, and just exile your library.
Yeah.
But then what?
Right.
Right. You're like, and I lose. Yeah, I don't know what you could do. Like, it does allow you to hit all the cascade spells, but you don't have the like ability to control it.
Right.
Because it's just any non-land.
Yeah.
But like, it does do powerful things, and like the couple times I've seen it, it has been good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a not embarrassing body that does a neat, powerful thing.
Sure.
And like a deck like Jund, I think it just like might make better.
Yeah, like you said, old like Luris Jund, where everything's, or like Death Shadow Jund or something.
Yeah.
Everything was super cheap.
So Gavin asked me to come say goodnight to him. So but we'll be all right.
You sure? You want to take a break for a sec?
Sure, I'll pause it.
Okay.
Next up, after a visit to the baby downstairs, we have Frog Mirror Enforcer. What does this thing do?
So this is a 7-mana 4/4 artifact creature frog mirror. It has prototype. If you remember this from Brothers War, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like an alternate way to cast the card. So its prototype cost is 3 and a red, and if you pay its prototype cost, it's a red 2/2 instead of a colorless 4/4. But no matter which portion you pick, it has affinity for artifacts. And that means that it costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. And that applies to its prototype cost and its regular cost.
Yes.
So why is Frog Mirror Enforcer important, and why are we talking about it? It seems pretty bland.
So there is the affinity deck in Modern that kind of wants as many affinity creatures as it can have. So it plays like Sojourner's Companion, which is Mirror Enforcer, but with artifact land cycling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mirror Enforcer.
Yep.
And it plays Frogmite.
Yep.
So like this card gives you a Frogmite, and it gives you the Mirror Enforcer. Well, most of a Frogmite.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it costs a mana for the Frogmite can like be a problem.
Right.
But also like so you get in air quotes 4-drop that also can exile to Ugin's Labyrinth.
Yes.
To turn on your Ugin's Labyrinth, so it like can be that big thing that you need to like trigger your cast a thing 7 mana, cast a spell that's 7 mana, Ugin's Labyrinth, but it's also your 4-drop when you need like a cheaper artifact to like bridge to the next thing.
Yep. It's also noteworthy that both halves of this trigger the Simulacrum.
Yes.
For that deck as well.
Mm-hmm. So it does a bunch of little like support things. Like the card itself isn't like, oh my gosh, this is so powerful, but it's the fact that it is it has all these little synergies with these different decks.
Yeah.
And can do different things. Like this is a card that like will like see play in any kind of artifact deck.
I know you were looking at pre-order prices before the show here. Did you happen to glance at this one?
I did not, but I will look here. Frogmere. So I'm on Card Kingdom because I have what's it called? I have
Credit.
Well, credit. Maybe we'll see if it'll load. It might be faster for me to do this on my phone. Way to go. Yeah, it's gonna be faster for me to do this. Way to go, computer.
Yep.
Frogmere Enforcer. Yep, not working. I thought the power outage had saved me, but no.
Not so much.
No, I thought I had fixed my problems because I don't know how to fix them. 79 cents, it looks like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that one's cheap.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough,
yeah, for all the stuff that it can do.
Yep.
And
so you got anything else for Frogmere, or are you ready to move on?
I think I'm ready to move on.
All right. So this is a card that we talked about just a minute ago. And this is Galvanic Discharge. It's a single red mana for an instant at common. Choose target creature or planeswalker. You get 3 energy. Then you may pay an amount of energy, and Galvanic Discharge deals that much damage to that permanent. So it's kind of sort of Harness Lightning, if you remember Harness Lightning, but only costs a mana. And it's a way for you to generate energy in the decks that want to generate energy, because this could be, as long as you have a target, pay a mana, get 3 energy. Or it could,
you do have to have a target, yeah.
Yeah, you do have to have a target to cast it. You can't just cast it willy-nilly. But you could target your own thing if you wanted to. And then just pay no energy and you get 3 energy. Or if you have some extra energy laying around, you can blow up something big with it.
Yeah, you can take out kind of anything.
Yep.
And again, having watched some of the like gameplay of like some of the energy decks, like I have 14 energy occurrence happens like all the time.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a deck that wants to make energy, you will make enough energy. I think that Saffron Olive had a deck where he played a Warlord Virtuoso and made 7 Thopters the turn he played Warlord Virtuoso.
Holy moly.
Just like no big deal. I think he had like 23 energy.
Jeez.
So
I mean, like, that almost makes me want to like stuffy doll this thing.
Oh man. Boom. Oh god, yeah. Or
Brash Taunter.
Brash Taunter. It's like, what's the dumb goblin? Yeah. Brash Taunter. Yeah, there you go. We've got a new deck.
Yep.
Because you have 8 of that effect. You have 8
Yeah.
Harness. You have Harness Lightning in this.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. We did it.
Teamer Taunter.
Teamer Taunter. Even has a good name. Rolls off the tongue. That's like half the battle.
Yeah.
So we got to put that together on Arena. Get them clicks.
That's right.
So this at a baseline does more damage than Unholy Heat.
Yes, right? It does 3 instead of 2.
Right, so it's going to kill more things on the front end.
Yep.
Your second one has a chance to kill more things, or kind of as many things at right, like if you spend 1 energy, then your next one can kill something with 5 times. Right, and again, if you're getting energy, like it won't be hard to have a bunch of energy to use this.
Right.
So like it, there was talk before the set came out that this might be like the best red removal spell.
Possibly.
Because it kills everything Lightning Bolt kills. Plus.
Right.
On some amount of occasions. And then, kills more than Unholy Heat on the front side.
Yep.
And could match Unholy Heat like in the right deck. But like Unholy Unholy Heat needs the right deck as well.
Right. Yeah, you
So
got
they
to be able
both
to
kind
turn
of have like,
Delirium on easily.
yeah, they both have that like builder round aspect to them. So
Mhm.
right, like this could just be like the best red removal spell going
Could
forward.
be. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that this doesn't have on Lightning Bolt is you can't go to the face with it.
Yeah, and like I think that's why like the Unholy Heat comparison is probably better because they're
Yeah.
both limited to creature or planeswalker. So like, there's definitely a chance that if you were gonna play, if you were looking at these two, right? Like, do I have Dragon's Rage Chandler? Then okay, I'll play Unholy Heat.
Mhm.
Do I have like 3 things that make energy in my deck because I want them?
Yeah.
All right, I'll play Galvanic
The
Discharge.
discharge.
So, all right, what do we got next? I gotta get on the
We
right
got
page
one
here.
more red card. This is Wheel of Potential. 2 and a
Okay.
red for a sorcery. You get 3 energy, and then you can pay X energy. Each player may exile their hand and draw X cards. If X is 7 or more, you may play cards you own exiled this way until the end of your next turn. So this is templated the new way they template these, where you get the remainder of your turn and then all of the next turn to play your stuff. Like Ren's Resolve.
So, okay, if I'm reading
Right.
this right, okay, so each player may discard their hand and then draw X cards.
Yeah.
Right. So those cards are in your hand.
Right. But you still get
cards
to
that you
cast what was in your hand.
Yeah, if you hit
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like that's just like upside, but not like important. Like if like you could like if you were in the market for a wheel for wheel and get 5 cards, go from no cards to 5 cards, like that's fine.
Mhm.
But I guess this is better when you like want to go from 5 cards to 7 cards because you can like keep those 5 cards for later.
Yeah, well, and just till your next turn. But
Yeah.
like we were just talking about with Galvanic Discharge, though, like the deck that wants to play this card is probably going to have some energy kicking around.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, like, by the time you're ready to cast this, I don't think that you're going to have a problem paying 7 energy or more.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I think we were talking about this when we saw the spoiler for it, was this pairs well with things that we'll say inhibit your opponent drawing cards,
Mm-hmm.
like Shieldred or Narset.
Yeah, like those are things like you can turn it into a one-sided wheel.
Yeah.
There's also an uncommon that I saw kind of going off today in an Aspiring Spike video, playing Ruby Storm, but Unstable Amulet.
Okay, I
It's
don't remember
1
that
on the
one.
red. It enters and gives you 2. Enters battlefield, gives you 2 energy. When you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Unstable Amulet deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then you can pay to exile the top card of your library. You may play it. You may play it until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. So you can just like set it aside.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away.
But if you pay 7 and dump like a 7-card hand into exile with Wheel of Potential.
Oh yeah.
Then as you play them, like if you go like Galvanic Discharge, an X1, then Unstable Amulet, then turn 3, like draw 7, put like 5 cards in exile.
Yeah.
That are like, rituals and Ren's Resolves, things like that. And then you just like start comboing off with Unstable Amulet.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool.
So that's just an interesting way like to use the exiled cards. Right? Like this seems like a Storm card where they're like wheel yourself, but then like go to your next turn and have like access to 12 cards or 11 cards. And like if you can't win in your Storm deck with 11 cards.
Right. What are you even doing?
You've built your Storm deck incorrectly.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you can't win in your Storm deck after you wheel yourself, you have built your Storm deck incorrectly.
Absolutely.
So it's a May from your opponent. So like where like the Narset play was just crippling and like they lost the game, or the Shieldred Orcish Bowmasters where they just lost the game. Now they can just go like, I will not draw these cards.
Well, right, but like even if that happens, like you still get to see a whole bunch of cards. It's not like
you still get the advantage. Like it's easier to break the symmetry because it's not symmetric anymore.
Right.
Right. Like if you do anything to make it so your opponent goes no.
Yeah.
And like you draw 6 or 7 and they draw none.
Mm-hmm.
We take you win those games.
Sure.
All right, what do we got?
Moving on to green.
Here? All right.
We have Eladamri Corvectal. I have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce that. This is 1 green for a 3/3 legendary elf warrior. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and you can pay green and tap it, and tap 2 untapped creatures you control to reveal a card from your hand or the top card of your library. And if you revealed a creature card this way, put it onto the battlefield. Activate only during your turn.
Mm-hmm.
This is a modern set, right?
It is.
And Intruder Alarm is legal in modern?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Intruder Alarm lets you, it untaps all creatures whenever a creature enters the battlefield, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this just lets you put all of the creatures in your hand and off the top of your library into play?
Yeah, until you kind of like run out.
Yeah, until you like brick.
I guess you need 3 creatures on the battlefield or 4, right? Because you need like you need 1 to get the mana, like to go like air quotes infinite.
Right. Yeah.
1 for the mana, 2 for the tap, and then this guy.
And then this guy, yeah.
But like that's could be doable.
Yeah. Little elf ball action.
Yeah, or like if you're like green black and you had Tyvar, where like the creatures you put in could like tap for mana.
Yep.
So like you hit a Priest of Titania and you're just like make
bunch
6
of mana. Yep.
And then you can just keep doing it over and over again.
Yep.
I
don't know if there's a way to clear the top of your library or
not. I was gonna say like you kind of can brick, but like is there a way that you could? I think it's got to be in green some way.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Like tap, exile the top card. Or some nonsense.
Seems like some combo potential though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a great way to cheat a Crater Hoof into play or something.
Mm-hmm.
Without having to get to 1 billion mana.
Yeah, just like bonk. Here it is. I mean, even like, I guess I don't know. Like, so what is it called? The black card. The reanimation target, like
Archon
of Cruelty, like Archon of Cruelty, or like Vaultborn Tyrant, like or Atraxa.
Yep.
You're just like bonk. Here you go. Here's my big thing.
Yep.
Like it's kind of just like show and tell.
Yeah, that means one-sided show and tell.
Yeah. All right. The next one is all right. So this is Primal Prayers.
Yep.
This is 2 green for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy, and then you can cast creature spells with mana value 3 or less by paying 1 energy. So not energy equal to the converted mana cost.
Right.
1 energy per creature.
Yep.
Rather than paying the mana cost, and then if you cast the spell this way, you can cast them as if they had flash.
Yep.
So basically, at instant speed, you can throw your creatures onto the battlefield by paying 1 energy.
Yep.
So, this is just like a Lauren, but for energy.
It's close.
Yeah.
Alurin is just free.
Yes.
but it's also symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is gated by energy, but it's just you.
Yeah. So, Guide of Souls, the Soul Warden that gives you an energy when a creature comes into play,
Mhm.
into life. That plus a Sararak wins you the game.
Yep.
That plus Shrieking Drake.
Yep.
Is infinite ETBs.
Yep.
Greenbelt Rampager, the green 3/4 that
Mhm.
gives you. It comes into play, and you can pay 2 energy to keep it on the battlefield. And if you can't pay 2 energy, you get 1 energy.
Yep.
This plus that, and you having 1 or 2 energy when you play the first Greenbelt Rampager gives you infinite ETBs.
Yes.
Yes, because you have 2 energy, you play Greenbelt Rampager, it hits the battlefield. It says pay 2,
Mhm.
and you can't. So then you return it, and you get an energy when it returns.
Mhm.
So then you go back to 2 energy.
Yep.
So like that plus like Corpse Knight
Yep.
is infinite ETBs.
Yep.
So like this has a bunch of like shenanigans that you can do.
Mhm.
Now the problem is presumably you would want to be able to search for all of these pieces.
Right.
And the way you would initially think would be Recruiter of the Guard. But it is toughness 2 or less.
Yeah.
So like you can find Guide of Souls, but you can't find a Sararak.
Right.
You can find Corpse Knight, but you can't find oh goodness, what is it called? Greenbelt Rampager.
Yeah.
I
You
guess
can't get Amalia.
you can get Amalia.
Oh, that's right,
Amalia's
because
a
it's 2/2.
2/2,
Yeah.
but you can't get Wild Growth Walker.
Right.
And like if you had Amalia and Wild Growth Walker, you would probably like to have access to Sorin.
Right.
Because then Sorin, you gain a bunch of life with Amalia, and you just death ray them
Yep.
when Sorin
Bzz.
flips. But Sorin, you can't get that. So like, Guardian, Recruiter of the Guard, like gets half of each of like your various combos, but
Yeah.
doesn't get all the pieces together.
Yeah.
So it makes it like awkward, and like how many different like creature-based combos that you have to have primal prayers for can you like put in your deck?
You know, you can get though that gets all of those pieces.
What?
Fauna Shaman.
Okay. Okay, you could Fauna Shaman.
Yep.
Fair. Okay, Fauna Shaman might do it.
Yep.
You can maybe convince me on that.
Another thing that's interesting that I just realized as you were reading the card here is that it doesn't save from hand.
I had noticed that. Yeah. So like creatures you could cast from the graveyard
Or your library.
Oh. What could you catch? What can you catch from the library?
Anything like Realm Walker or
Oh yeah. So it's 3 cards, but like Guide of Souls plus Sack outlet like a what is he called, the 1 black 1/1 that can't block, sack a creature, get put a plus counter
Carrion
on it.
Feeder.
Carrion Feeder, and like Gravecrawler.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you just like
Yep.
infinite life, infinitely large Carrion Feeder.
Yep.
So there are like, I don't know if this card is good, right? Like
it doesn't have to be good because it's going to be a blast.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
Like,
Alurin wasn't ever good. It was just fun to play.
Yeah. Like you run it, you run into the allure of I have my deck is named after a card
Right.
that there is one of,
Right.
like, in existence. There is no redundancy for this one card.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord help me if they can't counter it.
Yeah.
Right? Or I don't draw it. I guess you also can do what the Yorian, Dex, and Pioneer do. What is the, I can't think of, what is it, like a 2 and a white, like 3/2 ETB, search your deck for an enchantment, put it on top.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right, so like,
Idyllic Tutor.
not, it's a creature.
Oh, okay.
Moon something. It's a
Mm,
3/2. It's 2 and a white 3/2. Like, you could Idyllic Tutor.
Yeah.
But like, you could use a creature, like, in a convoluted way, you could Recruiter of the Guard for the tutor for your thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then tutor for your primal prayers.
Yeah.
And then you're dead any number of ways
Right.
before you ever get to cast that primal prayers.
Yep.
But you could, is it Moonblessed Cleric?
I don't know. Maybe. It sounds like a card.
It sounds like a card. I made up a good card name. Yeah, it is Moonblessed Cleric.
There you go.
And it is, man, I got everything right. Casting cost, size, boom.
Good job.
So like, you could do something like that where like you give yourself a little bit more redundancy.
Mhm.
But no, like, this is why I want to play Timeless. It's to, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, get smushed by show and tell. But like, they show and tell, like, the joy of, like, they show and tell in like an Atraxa, and you put in a Primal Prayers, and in response to the trigger, you combo them off the planet. You're just like, put it in, flash in the Soul Warden, and then a Sararak you to death.
Got him.
And they're just like, oh.
Well, that
yeah.
happened at
Yeah.
instant speed. I didn't even get my cards off Atraxa yet.
Exactly. Like, in response, it's like, I have responses, you're dead.
Yeah.
Well, it's Arena, so the rope would start, and then I would die before I made it through enough times.
I've
like,
played some pretty convoluted combo decks on Arena, and opponents are usually pretty graceful about that kind of stuff.
Good. Just because I think it deals like 1 damage each time you go through or something.
Yeah, and you have to go through the whole dungeon to do 1 damage. Like, I played a Sararak combo when we were doing YouTube stuff, and for the most part, people scooped.
People were like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is, so like, it is going to be fun. And like for Legacy, could you see a world where you have like Primal Prayers and a Lauren, where you have like, where you have the like Guide of Souls as Sararak, like, because you just need Guide of Souls to make Primal Prayers work,
Right?
But then you just also have a Sararak that when you draw a Lauren, you just get to a Sararak them. So
yeah,
like,
I mean, maybe
you kind of have like 8, and like, like playing a 4-color deck that has like Ponder and Brainstorm to like find.
Yeah. I don't know that you need all 8. Like, you could probably get away with
like 6 or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would have better ways to like search for like your pieces or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like not Worldly Tutor, Living Wish to go get the one to get the piece you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, this card is gonna be fun on Arena. Like, this is the one I'm like, I'm gonna play Timeless so I can do this thing.
Yep.
Like, this is what I want to do. Yes.
All right, next up we have 6. This is Wren's Tree.
Mm-hmm.
2 and a green for a 2/4 legendary tree folk. It has reach. When 6 attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put a land from among them into your hand, and as long as it's your turn, non-land permanent cards in your graveyard have retrace, which means you can discard a land and pay the card's mana cost and cast it from your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that this card is like super duper powerful, but I also think there has to be some shenanigans we can get up to with it. Like retrace is kind of almost a broken, I don't want to say broken mechanic, but you can definitely cheat with retrace a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's like mana neutral or mana positive that we can retrace?
I mean, in Cube, Black Lotus works nicely.
Oh, sure.
You Lotus into 6 on turn 1, and then you pitch a land to get your Lotus back.
Yeah.
The old line with Lauren before they put the 3 mana on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you could. Could you, like, Lotus Petal does it? I guess, you could just like loop Lotus Petals. Trying to think of like something that like would draw a card or something.
Well,
I guess you
because
could like
you
with
can
like
like
Mishra's Bauble, you could trade all of the lands in your hand for next turn.
well, and you can also Life from the Loam to fill your hand back up with lands to pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you could always have like 3 lands that you could just throw in the graveyard.
Yeah.
For whatever thing you want to get back. Like, zero mana things would be better. Like, or if wish there was like some like, or like Dakmor salvage, you could like with like the Mishra's Bauble, you could always get like at least 1 Dakmor salvage back.
Yeah.
And then also be putting like new things to retrace into your graveyard.
Yeah.
Like, does this make like the seals better? Like Seal of Fire, Seal
I
of
don't know. The
Cleansing.
seals aren't great. I was thinking more like this is kind of close. I don't want to call it Luris levels of broken, but like it's a similar ability if you use it correctly. And something like Life from the Loam or Dakmor Salvage, where you're just like it's an engine you can just do every turn to get ahead. I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, Dakmor Salvage would be good. I hadn't thought about that. Like Life from the Loam is kind of what I was thinking, but I couldn't figure out a way to like come out ahead on the deal.
Yeah, because like you have to like draw and get the mana.
Yeah.
Right. There's not like a thing that gives you 2 mana and a draw.
Right.
I mean, I guess like you can like go deep and like Semblance Anvil.
Yeah.
Like, because like you could Semblance Anvil like an Ichor Wellspring, like an artifact, and then like Ichor Wellsprings are like free if you had like a way to sack.
Yeah, you have to have a way to sack it though.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what you do to like kind of bit.
Yeah. Like the reason I put it on here is like all of, I don't want to say all of the important bits, but there's a lot of similarities that I don't think jump out at you at first. Like it's 3 mana and it has some of the same recursion features.
Yeah.
So like it's within the realm of playing, like it's not too expensive to play. I don't know. Like I said, it was a thought I had.
There's the 2 mana the 2 mana black card that is like 1 in the black is a creature and like each player sacrifices a creature. Right? Like with a land that is just like, play it, sack it.
Yeah.
Kill your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you just get to like every turn you have like a removal spell in your graveyard.
Yeah.
That you can just like bring back turn after turn. That's why I was thinking like the seals. Like they're not great, but like, it's a removal spell that you can just like loop every like that it puts itself in your graveyard. So what itself in your graveyard.
Yeah.
To like do its effect. But yeah, I think like Loam plus Bauble. Like you said, where you're like get 3 lands, and then that just turns Loam into like draw 3.
Right.
Like draw 3 actual cards.
Is there anything? What's it? Drownyard Temple lets you put it into play from your graveyard. Are there any more lands like that where you could come out ahead?
Oh, where if you pitch it, you can bring it back into play.
Yeah. Or is that the only
No,
one? That might
I
be the
don't
only
think
one.
there's like a pet card of mine, Riftstone Portal, that like would fix your mana for green and white.
Yeah.
But it's not legal in Modern.
Yeah.
They can't handle the awesomeness that is Stone Portal. It tasks for colors, but if it's in your graveyard, all of your lands are savannas. It's amazing.
Woohoo.
Woohoo, we did it. It wasn't in the cube, and I put it in the cube as I've been messing with it. I'm like, I like this card. It's just gonna go in. I don't
There
care.
you go.
Does it make any sense? It does not,
No.
but it's in there.
Sure.
You get a few of those. No, like I saw a couple people playing this, and like it's good. I mean, just like anytime you draw a land, it's a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Is like powerful.
Right.
Like it does lead to, much like Loris, it kind of leads to that like unfun gameplay of just like playing the same spell over and over and over again, because like it is gonna devolve into like bobble pitch land, bobble pitch land, bobble pitch land.
Yeah.
Draw a bunch of cards. Oh, I drew some more lands. I'll draw more cards next turn.
Yeah.
But like I think it is really good.
I guess you could use stars and spheres.
Yeah, they cost.
Yeah.
Like you end up, they cost a mana.
Yeah, you end up down a mana.
But like it's not terrible. Like you could save them up.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Semblance Sample.
Yeah. Or
Now
is it Chief of the Foundry?
Mm-hmm.
It does it too.
Is it Chief of the Foundry Inspector?
Foundry Inspector. Yep, that's the one I was thinking of.
Like that makes them mana neutral.
Yep.
And then like then you draw the card immediately, so you just have a way to loop. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. It's like then it's just like, okay, I stormed off with 6. Like, okay. Like,
Now what?
Yeah, now what? Like,
yeah.
I guess I could have just played the red storm deck instead of having to splash red in my splash grape shot in my weird combo deck.
Yeah. They could have given us Chatterstorm, but they didn't.
Well, we still have it.
It's on Arena?
Oh, I don't know if it's on Arena. I was going to say, it's not banned in Modern.
Yeah, no.
You
got Weather the Storm.
We do. I'll just gain all the life. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. Next up is
moving on.
Sylvan Safekeeper with the wrong art.
True.
So this is a green for very importantly a human wizard that is a 1/1, and it has sack a land. Target creature you control gains Shroud until end of turn, which means no one can target it this turn.
That is correct. Neither player.
So once you give it Shroud, donezo. No targeting.
Yep.
The reason I stressed human is because Yawgmoth has protection from humans.
Oh.
Which means Sylvan Safekeeper can't keep him safe.
That is correct.
Because he can't target him.
Yep.
So when it was initially spoiled, people were like, oh my gosh, it'll go in Yawgmoth. And then I was mentally, like, when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then it was like, no, Yawgmoth is pro-human for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And now this guy's a human, so it doesn't.
Yep.
But this is just a really powerful effect, like a 0 mana way to like fizzle a removal spell.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like this sees play in Dark Depths and Legacy.
Yep.
I saw people playing it in Nadu.
Oh
today.
Yeah, that works.
Right,
that's
like,
kind of cute, actually.
You get like one trigger. Watching a Doomwake video, opponent played a Solitude. He courted for 1 for a Sylvan Safekeeper.
Whew.
and then protected his Nadu. So he got both triggers off his Nadu.
Hell yeah.
And then I think his opponent targeted it. Nadu put a land into play, which then let him cord for the Safekeeper.
Oh man, even better.
And then like it was just like I was watching the video and he's like, "Oh, that was filthy." And my wife from the bathroom, "What was filthy?" I'm like, "Oh, his play. His play was filthy."
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, like this is one of those cards that kind of like what was the card in? I'm doing so great at this today. In Amalia, the 1 mana, the dog that you sacrifice to
Oh
to
yeah,
protect
yeah,
your
yeah.
selfless savior.
Yep.
Right, like this is like in a cord deck. You just play one of these because it is like the way that you can cord to protect your stuff.
Yep.
And like you have as many protections as you have lands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a huge deal to be able to like protect it, because like presumably like you need to protect it for a turn.
Right.
So you like don't mind going down the land because you win when you untap with it or whatever.
Yep.
So it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, the only thing that the first thing that I thought of when I saw this, and I know Modern's a very different place now than where it used to be, but back when we got Giver of Runes, like Infect became 3 colors just to play Giver of Runes. This is on color, and I don't know, kind of does the same job. I don't know if like that helps Infect at all, but
yeah, like when you like it is awkward though, like if you go like pump spell and then go removal spell,
and then you shroud and you lose your pump
shroud
spell.
it and you lose your pump spell.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be better than losing your creature.
Yeah.
Right, but it is a little like not great.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it could like make the mana better and give like, you know, Infect has a lot of problems with like Orcish Bowmasters being around.
Right.
But it could help.
Well, I guess this guy has a lot of problems with Orcish Bowmasters being around too, but
yes. Also, is it is it Titania, or I think it's Titania? The
the one that cares about lands in the graveyard.
And when a land dies,
yeah,
you get a 5/3 or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was a commander card, but it was in the last Modern Horizons.
Yep.
Right, like you have this, and then you play that, and you just like throw all your lands in the trash can, and you like attack for 25.
Yeah, I thought you meant the flip Titania, or the meld Titania.
Yeah. The meld one. No,
yeah.
the Argoth Protector or something,
and the one that Nick Fit used to play.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I think that Safekeeper could like kind of do that job as well, as like, here's a way to get your lands. You can go all in, but it's also a way to like protect your thing. Get a 5/3.
Sure.
And now like I can attack with 2 5/3s and kill you or whatever.
Yep.
All right.
Last green card we have is Wirewood Symbiote. Single green mana for a 1/1 insect. You can return an elf you control to its owner's hand to untap a creature. Activate only once each turn. I don't know that this like single-handedly makes elves back on the table, especially in a world of Orcish Bowmaster, but this is part of what makes Legacy elves tick. It's kind of what differentiates Legacy combo elves from like the modern beatdown decks that like elves is in Modern. You get to get extra value out of your like Elvish Visionaries and stuff by getting to draw extra cards. It lets you untap your Elvish Archdruids to make a whole boatload of mana.
And now Priest of Titania.
Also, whatever the other one was, Circle of Dreams Druid or whatever.
Yes.
Yep.
I guess that Elvish Archdruid is the only one that doesn't eat it to
Bowmaster.
To Bowmaster.
Yeah.
Which is so bad. Like that card just like eliminate so many cards.
Yeah.
Like it was like we have to ban Renin 6 in Legacy because it like eliminates X1s from the entire format.
Right. But
And
Bowmaster's
now
fine.
yeah, but now in Modern it's Bowmasters and Renin 6. Like
Yeah.
what do you it's like okay, like and then they're designing cards in Modern Horizon 3. You can tell what cards they wanted to see play
Because they gave it an
because
extra point of toughness.
they were 1/2s.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you didn't want this. You play tested it and it like died to Bowmasters every time it resolved. And
Yep.
so you were like, I don't want to do this anymore. We have to make it a 1/2. Yeah, like I think that like the problem is like there's not a super like I guess like finale
Mhm.
of Devastation. So like one of the things that makes Legacy Combo Elves is natural order, right?
Yeah.
Is just like getting to a bunch of getting like making your bunch of elves huge.
Mhm.
And like if you set it up that you played priest and heritage druid, right? Like a turn of like and priest, heritage druid, and priest of Titania. So not heritage druid,
Archdruid.
arch
Yeah.
druid, priest, and then heritage druid, where you're able to generate a ton of mana,
Mhm.
and then like you know, so like heritage druid can generate a bunch of mana. All these that maybe you can cast. You could just cast a hoof,
Yeah.
or like you could finale devastation for a hoof.
Well, I mean, if you finale for enough, it doesn't even need to be a hoof. It can be
Yeah, it
anything,
can
and
be
it brings a
anything.
hoof with it.
Yeah. So it's like X equals 10, so you would need like 12 mana.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not like absurd for elves.
Yeah. No. Well, that's what I mean. Like this, like, there's definitely like, one drop, one drop, one drop, play 3 more one drops
Yeah.
kind of draws
Hmm.
that are like pretty straightforward.
I mean, there were certainly games like back when I played elves a lot where you'd Uzuri and double activate it in a turn,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what 13 mana.
Yeah, and now we have the guy from Keldheim that like makes an elf when an elf comes into play, and then
Mhm.
also has like the
War Master.
overrun.
Yep.
Yeah. So like there are definitely enough ways for you to get enough bodies
Yeah.
that like picking up a single elf
Mhm.
to untap your heritage druid that's making or not heritage druid, whatever
Archdruid.
arch druid. They both say druid. I'm struggling here.
So many druids. Why are
Yeah,
all the
and
elves druids?
and then make 12 mana or whatever is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But again, like it's like does elves work in like the like world of like Red and 6, Orcish Bowmasters, Fatal Push, Galvanic Discharge.
I mean,
The
it depends on how many elves you can get down.
yeah, the new white energy raft.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just kind of like engineered explosives.
Yeah.
So like that's like the issue, but like if it can exist, this will help push it there.
Hmm.
And like again, like anyone who like has played elves is just gonna get a better version of their deck.
Yeah.
So all right. I think we can go through multicolor, then we might have to like call it. We are somehow an hour into this thing.
Holy moly. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what are our multicolored cards?
Hang on. I'm getting there. I clicked the wrong button.
We went back to the dinosaur. I was
Yeah.
just gonna let it ride. There we go.
All right. So first up, we have Nadu, Winged Wisdom. 1 green blue for a 3/4 legendary bird wizard. It has flying because it's a bird. And creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. This triggers only twice each turn. Twice. You get to do this twice.
Do this twice.
Each turn.
The thing that like kind of gets missed, I think, is the way that it's worded is each creature can be triggered twice each turn. It's not just it's triggered on him.
No, it's all creatures you control.
Yes.
Yep.
So I am glad that there was some distance between when this came out and when we talked about it, because I got to watch a couple gameplay. I watched like 2 videos about this specifically, like with this card. And like I thought it wasn't gonna be good enough with like I've got to play like Shuko, which doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then I play this thing. But I was wrong. It does plenty. Have you seen it with Spring Heart Nantuko?
I have not.
So Spring Heart Nantuko is we'll just make it short here. It is a 2-mana Scoot Swarm.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's that new guy, right?
Yeah, landfall makes 1/1. It also bestows, and you can like copy the thing it's bestowed on. But with Nadu, if you go like, Shuko into Spring Heart Nantuko into Nadu.
Yeah.
Every time you hit a land off of Nadu, you make a creature, which then gives you 2 more looks at the Nadu thing.
Yeah.
So and Nadu puts the lands into play untapped.
This is true.
So the combo build of this is you have a Thassa's Oracle. And you just empty your entire deck on like turn 3.
Yeah.
And then like Jim Davis's version was playing Teferi Time Raveler. So you just like play Time Raveler, say go, next turn play Nadu, they can't interact.
Right.
And then you're just like, wee, and you win the game. So like people are like, oh, we need to ban this, and like from like the opponent point of view, right? Like this is like a lot of cards in like Modern Magic, right? Where it's like
kill on
you
sight.
You have to have a removal spell to have a counter spell.
Yeah.
Which, it's a legend, so what is the thing from Lord of the Rings? The 1/2? That
Delighted Halfling?
Delighted Halfling, right?
Yep.
So counter spells don't always work.
Yep.
But like you just have to be able to kill it. And it's like not great, or you have to be able to deal with like a garbage do nothing equipment.
Right.
Right. But there's also, is it Nomad Outriders?
I don't know that one.
I think it's like 1 in a white or 2 in a white. And it's like a 2/2. And it has 0 target creature, like the next 1 damage dealt to Nomad Outriders dealt to target creature. So you can just target Nadu with that as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
So then you can do it at instant speed. You can do it on your turn, and then do it again on their turn. But like it's like creature that has to die.
Yeah.
And like if it doesn't die, you lose. But like you lose through more steps, right? Like in Legacy with like Cephalid Breakfast, right? Like you just lose the game, like the game ends. This is a lot of times is like the game doesn't end, but you draw 6 cards and you put 3 lands into play.
Yeah, it effectively ended.
Yeah, like they've got to get around to killing you somehow, but it's like, yeah, they can't. Like my opponent cannot beat me. I just cast like a 1-sided wheel.
Right.
And 4 growth spirals. So I guess I'm winning this game.
Yeah.
Which is a little awkward. Like it'd be much better like if all these like game actions led to you actually winning the game.
Right.
So like, but like, so there's the combo version, and then there's just like fair versions that are like, okay. But like the combo version just does like the fair plan a lot. Like you play the weird Scoot Swarm, and then you play like a fetch land.
Yep.
And you end up with like 2 1/1s on the battlefield. It's like, oh, I like after a couple of like I have 6 power on board. I guess I win this game now. Neat. So it is much better than I thought. So I'm glad that I got to see it.
Yeah, no, it's a cool card. I had thought about like my first trip through the cards. I had thought about including it, but there was a lot of cards, so I didn't. But I'm glad you reminded me to throw it on there. So
yeah, because it seems to be like the thing that people are building around a lot.
Yep.
And so it's a little like I hope it's not as good as people seem to be thinking it is,
Yeah.
where people are like, this needs banned, right? Like, are you ready for Nadu Summer? Because we're
Nadu
just gonna
Summer.
have like, yeah, we're just gonna have a ton of like
Hey,
Nadu decks everywhere.
it plays well with Sylvan Safekeeper.
It does.
Yep.
It does.
You get to put a land into play. You get to protect it.
Yeah, you get to get the land back that you fed
Yep.
to it. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do we have next?
Next up is Flage, Titan of Fire's Fury. This is 1 red white for a 6/6 legendary Elder Giant. When Flage enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Flage enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. And it escapes for red, red, white, white, and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. So it's the same basic template as Uro, except instead of growth spiraling and gaining you 3 life for some reason, this lightning helix is.
Yes.
I don't know that it's like even. It's definitely not Uro good, and it's probably not even Kroxa good.
So like a lot of people have said it's like around Kroxa or like better, just because like it does something to the board. Right, like if you're
Yeah,
under
I mean, I
pressure,
guess
it
that's
does.
true.
It is like a removal spell,
Yeah,
right? Because like
stabilizes you.
yeah, discard a card of your choice.
Yeah,
and maybe you take 3 damage. Right, is it doesn't like you can still lose after that.
that's true.
In theory, like this is a little bit harder. Like you get their aggression off the board or whatever.
Yeah,
and you gain 3 life. Like you could see this like in a burn deck, like a Boros burn deck with
oh sure.
like a 1 or a 2 of.
Yeah,
Where like it is like you're like in case I have flooded out.
right.
Right, like I have this to draw to, or I like played this on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the graveyard, and then I cast a couple more bolts, and you killed a goblin guy, and then I brought it back.
Right.
Like that's like a kind of a fine use of it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I don't know if there are other like like other places for it to go, like offhand, like because it's not like Uro where you just build your deck around it and you're like this is a game,
Right.
and it's not like Kroxa where it's kind of like can incidentally be in your deck. I'm black and red, and I guess I can play this Kroxa.
Put 2 in as like fun ofs.
Yeah, and because they're 2 mana.
Yeah.
Like this is a little bit more expensive, and like so like it doesn't just give you something to do on 2. But I think that like as flood protection is, and like when you attack with it, like you get to hit them for 3 or take out their blocker.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty good.
Like like if this is like attack 9 you, like that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the Necro Bloom. This is 1 Abzan, so 1 white, black, green for a 2/7 legendary plant, and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create an 0/1 green plant creature token. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token instead. And land cards in your graveyard have dredge 2. So it's a creature version of Field of the Dead.
Yes. Which is infinitely worse than Field of the Dead.
Oh, 100%. Like it's interactable. So
yes,
right off the rip, it's a lot worse than Field of the Dead. And especially at 4 mana, like that's kind of expensive for like what that deck's trying to do.
Yeah.
But like how good is giving all of your lands dredge 2?
I mean, I guess it like works well with the like draw card lands, like the sack lands, like Peat Bog, and I guess Horizon Canopy, the Horizon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there's like you can only Ghost Quarter so hard.
Yeah, I mean until they run out of basics or non-basics.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's like my first thought reading is like this is probably like a sweet commander card. Like someone is probably super pumped to put this in their commander deck. It just doesn't seem like it's enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this card it did enough weird things that there had to be a home for it somewhere. Like the whole card is just weird.
You might be right, but it might be one of those cards that does a bunch of weird things, and so like the deck that it goes in is just not obvious.
Yeah.
And then someone's gonna like figure it out.
Yeah.
But like just looking at it with my smooth brain, like it's just like not. I'm just
not
like
readily apparent.
Yeah, not seeing where it goes. Like we're in a format which we're gonna talk about next time probably.
Yeah.
Where we just have like 12 different, or no, 15 different like cards that cast for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess 14 because one of them had to be banned.
Yeah.
And like of the 14 that are left, like 9 of them are playable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like hard to be like a 4-drop is 3 colors, and then I'm gonna like play a land, and I'm gonna get an 0-1.
Well, I mean, ideally you'll get some 2/2s, but
yeah, well, like on like turn 4 or like on turn 5, right? Like or you could like play Omnath, and instead of getting 2 1/1s, you gain 4 life and get.
That's true.
And get all the mana back.
Yeah.
Right, like for like hard-ish to cast like thing that cares about landfall.
Mm-hmm.
Like Omnath might be like better.
Maybe.
But I do agree that it is neat, and maybe there is some land that like giving it dredge is just busted.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Do you remember? I mean, this is going back years at this point. But I think one of the very first PK videos that I ever saw was Heartless summoning Gitrog monster.
Uh-huh.
Like this fits in that deck.
Wait. So, Gitrog says when a land goes to your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card.
Uh-huh.
And then so then you basically any land that went to your graveyard, you could dredge. Now we're gonna go more into the realm of not playable.
Okay.
Bearscape.
Okay.
It's as many 2/2s as you have. It's half as many 2/2s as you have cards in your deck.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you, or maybe a third. Because you like it's half. Because like if you like go turn 3 Bearscape, turn 4 this, and it somehow survives, and then you're like Gitrog monster, pitch a land to Bearscape, dredge a land.
Yep.
Get a 2/2, pitch a land to Bearscape. Dredge a land.
Yep.
Yeah, so then you just. Okay, even more unplayable, Seismic Assault.
Yeah, Seismic Assault. Well, yeah, but that's like red, white, green, black.
Okay. What's his name? Borborygmos?
Yeah. I mean, that's still 4 colors, but yeah.
This is modern.
That's true.
Like, the aggro deck, one of the aggro decks is 4 colors or 3 colors.
Well, they had 5 colors.
Yeah.
So what about?
So that's a fun one. Is Bearscape on Arena? Like we could like.
I don't think it is. I mean, Zombie Hunt is. Or Zombie Infestation.
Oh, Zombie Infestation?
Yeah.
So there you go, Zombie Infestation.
Yep.
That's pitched 2 cards.
Yeah. Would
Gitrog only trigger once?
No, you get 2 triggers.
You get 2 triggers? Okay.
Yep. As long as they were both lands, you get 2 triggers. But you could also play Creeping Chills.
Oh yeah.
There's 12 damage.
There's 12. Okay, so we don't need that much more.
Yep.
Okay, free Dread Return. and then we can really have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, Heartless Summoning's not on Arena, so.
No.
But Karavak isn't Karavak? No. Yeah, Karavak is Heartless Summoning on a creature, right?
Is it? I thought it just gave everything -2, -2.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I don't think it reduces
Oh, it's
it.
Knight of Souls Betrayal on a creature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ursa's Incubator.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
it
but
get
that
Rog cheaper.
Yeah, that only makes the Get Rug cheaper though, not the Necro Bloom.
Name Frog.
Yep.
There we go. There you go. We have the Bearscape Necro Bloom deck. We did it.
Sure. If anybody was looking for it, we found it.
We found it. It was lost, but it is now found.
Yep. Oh no, I guess that doesn't work. I was going to say Umori.
Oh, that makes them cost one less. But yeah, then you can't Bearscape. It's like a, but like you can Borborygmos, right? Like you can pitch cards to Borborygmos.
Yep. It's something. It's something to do. Get brewing.
Hello, my modern opponent. I present you Umori as my companion.
Hey, I got unironically Dovescaped at a tournament once, so.
So have I. So have I. Was it Ashton?
No, this was at a GP.
Okay, because Ashton.
Or no. I didn't get Dovescaped. I got Swans.
Okay, Swans. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
All right.
Last card of the night.
Last card for the night. Yep.
I'll let you take it.
This is white of the Reliquary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's black-green for a zombie knight. It's a 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. And then sacrifice another creature, search your library for a land card, and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So, this is a play on Knight of the Reliquary that had to sack it was 3 mana instead of 2.
Yep.
And it had to sack a plains or a forest.
Yep.
To get any land. I think there's probably more shenanigans with this.
I think so too.
I've seen people try to do stuff with it with like Bloodghast.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
right?
Bloodghast is great.
Sack a Bloodghast. It comes back.
Yep.
Jim Davis had a Priest of Forgotten Gods.
That's cute.
Where you're like sacking Bloodghast, and then you just sack some other creature to bring back your Bloodghast.
Yeah.
Or then when you get to the magical 3 Bloodghast, then it's just like
it's all gravy.
It's all gravy. So it is powerful, but it's asking you to build your deck in kind of a weird way. Like Knight of the Reliquary was like play lands,
right?
Because I care about lands, and I get lands.
Mm-hmm.
This is like play neat lands, but also play creatures that don't mind being sacrificed. Or like come back or care about neat lands.
Yeah. The Venn diagram is like Colony Garden.
Yes. Exactly. I'm a neat land that gives you a creature.
Yeah.
Or like Dryad Arbor.
Right.
Where you're like, oh, I can get this is a land, but it's also a creature for next turn.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like Bloodghast, it also works with Gravecrawler because it is a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can like Gravecrawler, eat the Gravecrawler.
Yep.
So I've seen it do powerful things. Like it was, I think, a historic or a timeless brew he had. So like, but yeah, it is like a deck building challenge, but it's probably one that's worth like trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like in like let's say in like Black Green Depths. Right? Is this better than than Green White with Knight of the Reliquary? Where you can you have to build a different deck.
Yeah.
But like you have creatures to like play some sort of like beat down game, but then also you have this to like go get a piece.
Well, I mean, it depends because we're going to talk about a card at the very end here that is a reason why you might want to play Black Green Depths instead of white-green depths, and that would also ask you to up the creature count in your deck to like this. That would benefit playing white.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, white of the reliquary, not white the color.
Yes. Yeah, so like you could build a deck that cares about a certain land or like combination of lands that also like, you know, maybe not a beat down deck, but had like toolboxy creatures that mattered. Where like you're like, well, I can like use my Elvish Reclaimer to get one piece, and then eat my Elvish Reclaimer to get the other piece. Okay, now I've assembled Exodia or whatever.
Yeah.
I get to win now. Or, like if you got something in the grave, you got a creature in the graveyard, and then we're able to go get your shifting woodlands.
Yep.
Right, like okay, I'll sack my whatever. I'll sack like an Urza Saga because that's land enchantment, and then I'll sack my creature because that's creature that I can bring back whatever big stupid or make my land whatever big stupid thing I want because like I got the other piece of Delirium.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. Some of the cards are just like naked in your face, like I am super powerful. Play with me. And then there's cards like this where you're like, there's got to be something here, but there is like a deck building cost in this card.
Right. Someone's got to break it.
It just doesn't build itself.
Yep.
Right. It's not like, remember like Urza, Lord High Artificer?
Right.
Like it took time to like break it, but it was like just jam as many artifacts as you possibly can and then good things will happen.
Well, I mean, I think Urza took realizing that Astrolabe was busted for it to be good.
But you're like, oh, hey, we want artifacts. And this is like, well, you want creatures, but you also have to have lands that you care about like getting. Like, it's just not good enough to be like, sack a creature, get a ramp spell, unless it's like exactly Bloodghast. Then you're like, okay, that's fine. So, like, it is kind of interesting that, like, the cards that oftentimes have the, like, two different things that it cares about. Like, think about, like, Enigmatic Incarnation.
Right.
I want you to have enchantments so that you can go get creatures. Right? Like, it's, like, two different things. So it's more of a deck-building challenge.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that so that you guys don't hate us and our wives don't leave us. we are at an hour and a half in. I have to call it.
Yep, we'll call it a show.
We'll do colorless stuff and cycles and stuff next time, and we'll maybe see some other cards on the YouTubes or in the wilds of Arena to be like,
so we can talk about
that.
Yeah.
So,
or if there's anything that you guys want to talk about.
Yes, please. So with all that, I think we got a show. If you want us to talk about a card that we have missed in our colors and multicolors, please reach out to our social media, Facebook, Discord, Twitter, all that stuff. I guess it's X now. Email. Links are in the description. Come say hey. Be like, hey, why didn't you talk about fill in a blank card?
That's right. Let us know, and then we will talk about it. If you're looking to support the show, two ways you can do it. First, TCG player via our affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Surf on over there, do your shopping, support the show at the same time. Second, with our Patreon, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, get access to our pre-show and our show notes, and support the show at the same time. We would appreciate either of those.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internet.